Hi, I'm Vinny, and this is Vinny's View. I just got done seeing X-Men Origins, Wolverine. I was really pumped to see this movie, so I can't wait to tell you about it. Let me jump in the van because it's really loud out here. There's a lot of people coming in and out, so I'll be right back. I'm jumping in the van now. Thanks. Okay, back in the van where it's nice and quiet. You know, I've had the whole studio soundproof, so I think we're going to have a lot of luck with that. Anyway, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, just got done seeing it. I was really pumped up to see this movie. I was very excited when I heard it was coming out, obviously. I think the concept of going back and showing each individual X-Men character in their own movie and showing their backstory and how they came to be. So this movie basically tells the backstory of Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman. The story starts when he was a little kid. And you learn some things about him as a little kid, and basically you learn that I really didn't read X-Men comics when I was growing up. I didn't realize how old he is. He's an old dude. Basically, he's pretty old. It starts out in the 1800s, and it basically tells you the story of how he kind of came to be. You find out he has a brother who is Sabretooth. I'm not sure that was his name when he was growing up, but he gained that name. He and his brother fought in several wars, from the Civil War to World War I to World War II to Vietnam, and that's basically where he got his military background. And I got to tell you something. I think I would have loved a little bit more backstory. I think that they could have. I think the viewers that came to see this movie are diehard X-Men lovers. Obviously that's the audience. I mean, I don't think you're really going to get a lot of new viewers for this movie. I think people who have seen X-Men before are going to come and see this movie. I think as an X-Men lover, I love all three movies. I was sort of expecting a little more backstory, a little bit more how he became a mutant. What was he like when he was a kid? I think I would have liked a little bit more development of how he was with his brother, and when they were younger. I think they glossed over all of that, and basically by the end of the credits, you were in the mid 70s. He was past all the wars, and all of a sudden he was in this special task force. I mean, I think they could have trusted us as an audience, as lovers of this series, a little bit more, and given us a little bit more backstory, a la the first remake of Batman, where they with Christian Bale. I think that one really gave you a fantastic backstory about how he kind of became Batman and how he came to be. Obviously, you're coming to see some action. I think this is the beginning of the summer blockbusters. This is like the first movie that's come out that is probably considered a summer blockbuster. It gives you all the action. The special effects are amazing. I mean, I think right now special effects have come to a point where you almost don't even see the special effects. You just sort of assume that they're just real. I mean, they're just so good. I think the action sequences are great. I mean, the Wolverine character himself is so compelling, and you see that he has a heart. You see that he has his human side, plus he's kind of fighting his animal side as well. But I think that he is a very compelling character. And a lot of this movie really told the story about how he was kind of manipulated in his life, and how he was almost forced to become this ultra mutant, if you will, by he was in this task force, a special task force, and he didn't like a lot of things that were going on, and it was again that humanity, that human side of him that just didn't go for all the killing and all the the inhumanity. Basically, a lot of it brought on by his brother, and he kind of has a real dark side to him. And Wolverine broke away from all that and tried to settle down in a kind of an idyllic life in Canada. And basically, the movie is really about him being manipulated in a lot of ways, and tricked, and he ends up with a lot of vengeance in his heart, and submits himself to this experiment where they applied this unbelievably strong metal to his entire skeletal system, and that's where he gets his claws and all of that. He seeks out his revenge, obviously, and that's part of the story as well. Okay, as for the cast in this movie, I mean, I like to talk about the actors, talk about the cast. Obviously, you've got to start with Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. Um, he's a tremendously gifted actor. I mean, he's unbelievable looking. He's incredible shape. Well, I think what I find amazing about Hugh Jackman is that he can pretty much go from presenting at the Oscars and dancing and singing, and then all of a sudden he's in Wolverine with these giant claws and slicing up people. I mean, it's unbelievable. I think he's got to get some kind of award somehow. I'm not sure what the award will be, but for him to be able to go from the stage at the Oscars to this, he's pretty amazing. So, we know Hugh Jackman from movies like Australia and Swordfish. He was also in obviously in all the X-Men movies, and certainly the central character has been Wolverine in all of these all the X-Men movies. I mean, he really is the heart and soul of the movies. There's so many characters in the X-Men series, but the Wolverine character is really the central character that I think the whole thing is really based on. And so he does a great job. I mean, he's Wolverine. I mean, what are you going to do? He's him. That's it. One of the other actors is Danny Huston, and he plays the young version of Stryker, the Stryker character. He's the army general. He's in charge of experimenting on the mutants, and that's what his creating these incredible mutant weapons, if you will. You might recognize the name. He is the son of John Huston, who was in Chinatown. Very old-time actor and director as well, and he's also the brother of Angelica Huston. So there you go. He does a nice job of playing the younger Stryker, who in the original X-Men 2 was played by Brian Cox, who's a tremendous, terrific actor. And I think Huston does a good job of playing the younger version of Brian Cox. And you really kind of get a feel that they're the same person. All right, as for Sabretooth, that was played by Liev Schreiber, who is another really strong actor, and he's a real strong presence in this movie. He's got a strange kind of duality to his role, because he plays the sort of evil brother of Wolverine's character, and he's. The duality is where sometimes he's out to kill Wolverine, other times he's out to, help him. So it's a strange kind of back and forth going on with him, but he does a very good job, and he's very menacing. And Liev Schreiber is one of our terrific actors. He does a great job, and we've seen him in The Manchurian Candidate. We've seen him recently in Defiance. He's also in The Omen, which was a tragic remake of a great old movie. So. We'll give him a pass on that. You also have Ryan Reynolds, who plays Deadpool. This character Deadpool uses a lot of blades in the movie. I think he got a lot of his great blade work from Blade. He was in Blade Trinity. You might have seen him in Van Wilder, and definitely Maybe, and he was also in Smokin' Aces. He does a nice job here. He's, in all of his movies, has kind of that wise mouth. Okay, so what do we do about this movie? What do we do about it? I guess you could tell that I'm not overly enthusiastic about it. Again, the bar is set really high now. I mean, these movies that are coming out aren't just these. They're not just comic book movies. They're really tremendous, fantastic movies. I mean, the Spider-Man series I loved. Obviously, the new Batmans I think are unbelievably just amazing. I mean, the bar is set really high. Iron Man was incredible last year. So is it on that level? It's not on that level. It's not on the level of the best of the X-Men either, I don't think. I think this is better than the third X-Men, which I didn't love. But the first two X-Men were incredible, and I think that this movie is a really good movie. I think I would say see it, especially if you're an X-Men fan. But I wouldn't go in with the highest of high expectations. It wasn't as good as it could have been. I think it could have been a lot better. Okay, so that's it. I'm Vinny, and this was Vinny's view of Wolverine. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep checking back. It's going to be a great summer. I'm really looking forward to all these new summer movies coming out. Check back as often as you can, and I'm going to do as many reviews as possible. Okay? Thanks. Take care.